Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. Etrade made some changes to their site a few months ago, and I want to make a video on how you can buy and sell securities on the new updated site. So if you already have an account with Etrade, you can just go ahead and log on. If not, you will have to click open an account. I'm going to go ahead and hit log on. So as you can see, this is the screen it will bring you to after you log on. It will tell you your assets, net assets, how much you have, the day gains between all of your accounts, and then the different account types. Right now, I have three accounts with it. I had an individual brokerage, which was a core brokerage where it was automated investing. I have a joint. This is the account I made with my parents a few years ago, and I still continue to use it to this day. I have moved a lot of my money over to Robinhood, but I still do have some in here for more long-term plays. And I do have a Roth IRA. The first thing you want to do when you want to buy a stock is you want to come up here to the top and type in the ticker name. So I'm going to use GOPRO for this example. Now that we have the stock loaded, we can see the charts here. We can see all of the data here. eTrade does a very good job of giving you analysis research on what it thinks you should do, fundamentals, earnings, insider activity, a lot of good stuff. All of this is completely free for anyone who opens an account. But let's say you're ready to buy. How do we do so? We're going to come up here to the buy button. And once that loads, then you can see we have a lot of information here. So what should we do here? Here we have the quantity. This is how many shares you wish to purchase. So if you put in, say, 100 shares, and we'll just give it a market order, you can see that we now have an estimated cost of $881. But what does all of this mean? Well, the quantity of shares tells you how much of the company you want to purchase. If we say put in 1,000, we are going to buy 1,000 shares of GoPro. It's going to be 1,000 times the current price of GoPro. One handy tool that eTrade does provide is a calculator feature. So say you only have $1,000 in your account and you can only want to spend $1,000 of that, it can tell you can buy 13.25 shares. One thing to keep in mind is eTrade does not support fractional shares for buying only. They do support it from selling, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. So if we had $1,000 to invest, we could only buy 113 shares. So we can go ahead and put 113 in there, and you can see we're under $1,000. Moving on to the market price. Down here we have market, market on close, limit, stop on quote. What does all of this mean? Well, the two you really need to keep in mind are market and limit for buying. A market order will go out to the market and buy the best available price that is at current market prices. So if GoPro is trading at $8.83 for one share, it will go and execute the order at $8.83 for one share. Market on close does something very similar. However, as you can probably expect, it will execute the order only when the market is closed. Market on close works just about as you would expect. It will only execute this sale when the market is just about to close or near close. The next one we have is limit, and I'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to the selling part, but limit allows you to specify how much you want to pay for the stock. Now, this isn't like some magical box. You can't just say, I want to pay $1 for GoPro and you expect to get it. It will only execute it when the current price has hit that price. So say it's trading $8. If GoPro ever hits $7, then I want to be able to purchase it. But one thing to keep in mind is if you are betting on this for just a single day, it may not ever trigger. It may not never ever get to that price, and the order will be canceled. So one thing you can do is we come down here to the duration. Duration tells you how long you want this order to go for. And we really only have two options that I recommend people looking at are good for day and good for 60 days. Good for day says it will only execute the order today. So in today's current conditions, it will only execute the current market price. And then good for 60 days means it will keep the order open for 60 days. And if it is not filled after 60 days, then the order will be canceled. Okay, so now let's move on to selling. And you'd probably think that selling, you would just go up here and click sell. But you'd be mistaken. There's a far easier way to do this. If you go to your current portfolio, and instead of clicking on that sell button, you can click this drop-down menu and click sell. And this will automatically populate with the current quantity that you already have, assuming you want to sell all of your shares. And just like I mentioned before, we do have some more price types. You can do market, you can do limit, and then there's two I also want to talk about that I've touched on this channel before, which are trailing stop dollar and trailing stop percentage. So what are those? Well, essentially, it will take the highest price that the current stock hits in the next coming days or next coming weeks and execute only when it falls below that. So what does that mean? So let's say if we did a percentage, we can say if it falls more than 10% off of its highest price, then it will execute that order. And typically when you're doing these type of stop losses, you usually have the duration set for 60 days or longer just because it will allow it to not have you to do it every single day to reset it. But why would anybody want to do this? Why would you want to set these trailing stops in market? Why wouldn't you just want to sell it now? Well, the reason why I like to use them is because if, especially in this very volatile market, we don't know what the market's going to do day to day. So if it falls significantly in one day or falls significantly over the course of a week, I want to make sure that my current investments aren't going to take a huge hit like we saw back in March of 2020. By setting stop losses, you can really mitigate how much risk you're taking on. So if I know and say if I have a stock and I'm already up, say 30% on the year, I can set a stop loss at 10% and it will only execute when we've fallen 10%. And then when you are ready to go, you just go ahead and click preview order, and then you would click place order to proceed with your trade. I'm currently doing this on a non-trading day, so this order would just be queued for when the market opens tomorrow on Monday. So that is how you buy and sell securities on Etrade. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see content similar to this one. Hit the like button, leave me a comment down below saying what platform do you guys use? Do you still use Etrade? I have about 4 or 5 brokers I switch between. Always switch to the one that gives me the best value. Thanks guys so much for watching. See you next time.